Today we are reviewing The Birds, a patron pick for the month of April. If you want to force us to watch your favorite horror movie, head on over to patreon.com/horrormovietalk. Thank you for your support, and please enjoy our review of The Birds. But before we get into this episode of Horror Movie Talk, this is brought to you by a quick, informative public service announcement. Guys, birds are not real. I repeat, birds are not real. During the years of 1959 through 1971, the United States government exterminated all birds and replaced them with convincing drones that look and act just like birds, but the birds, you see, they're not birds because they have cameras and they're watching you while they always sit on their power lines. Why do they sit on the power lines, huh? You ever think about that? Because the power lines are charging their batteries. Birds aren't real, and you can't convince me otherwise. Stay safe out there.
Oil me up, Daddy. I can't believe the boys prefers big tits. Mistletoe alert. This is backcountry. This guy was a real jerk. How long can Hugo be pregnant? Chomp, 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 chomp.
Oh, you're such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves.
Ew.
Hoodie Picasso. Horror.
Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk. I am Max Allen, the sex appeal of the show, and with me is Bryce Hanson, the birthday boy, and Sydney Lee, the other sex appeal of the show. And Bryce Hanson's also the sex appeal of the show. Horror Movie Talk is an opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. We review a different horror movie every week. New theatrical releases always get priority, but we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. Sydney has a new hairstyle. Would you like to tell us about that?
Hello. Yes. Yeah, I just, I booked a hair appointment and it was really expensive and it took 4 hours because my whole head is bleached and it takes a long time. But it was great and I had a great time, and my hairstylist posted an Instagram reel of the transformation between brown and platinum blonde. I've never had my hair this blonde before, but now I'm even sexier and hotter and more unstable. Everyone hit me up.
That is exactly, you know what? You probably could have paid for that with the Horror Movie Talk money, because that's exactly what we needed.
This is a work expense.
And yeah, it was Bryce's birthday. I do have to take this moment to sing to Bryce. You had a birthday, shout hooray. We want to sing to you today. 1 year older and wiser too. Happy birthday to you, Bryce Hanson.
Yay! Happy birthday.
Yay. Yeah, Sydney texted me like, "Is this the big 5-0?"
No,
like,
that was
Jesus
Max.
Christ.
That was Max.
Oh, that was Max?
Not say
I thought
that.
I thought that was Sydney.
No, I laughed at it, but
It looked
Okay.
like you were far off. Like I made a huge mistake.
He is far off. Come on. Well, not as far as we are, but. Did you have a good birthday? What did you do?
Yeah, tell us
Did
about
you
your
do
birthday.
anything
real quick.
fun?
Well, I watched The Birds in Possession.
In the same
That's
day?
mostly what I did.
That's 4 hours of movie. Right?
Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, no, I just got back from a work trip on Thursday, like at midnight.
Oh.
So I had to work all day yesterday, and we're going to go out to dinner tonight.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a good birthday. Got some birthday gifts.
All right.
And,
Well, that's enough birthday talk. Save it for the afterpod. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. The full video is available on YouTube. Do not be a square. Make sure to share that. Also, check out on patreon.com /horror movie talk, the equivalent of the adult section of your video rental store. If you want to add your P to the community pool, go to horrormovietalk.com or call 682-253-4468 and leave us a voicemail. Guys, we've got a great show for you today. I haven't actually typed it into my notes yet, but this is called The Birds. We are reviewing The Birds, which was a Patreon pick, like I mentioned at the beginning. So the patrons voted for this to be the movie we reviewed in April. And here we are. We'll start out by giving a brief review and our score for the movie we score on a scale of 1 to 10. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. Was this the first time you guys have watched The Birds?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've seen parts of it and scenes, but this is the first time where I've sat through the whole thing.
Yeah, this was also my first time. So first time viewing for all three of us. I feel like that's kind of rare for
pretty impressive.
older movies like this. My synopsis goes, The Birds is a romantic comedy turned aviation nightmare. When the rich socialite and practical joker Melanie runs into a charming lawyer named Mitch.
You know, not to be a stickler, Max, about the wording, but it would be romantic comedy turned avian nightmare instead of aviation.
You know, I was just trying to look for sky words and bird words, but thanks, Bryce. You know, you do have more formal education than me, so you're kind of looking down on me. I chose to
take this moment to derail your intro and just...
You derailed the whole synopsis.
You're welcome. Okay,
do you want to give us a synopsis of The Birds?
No, go ahead. I'll let you know if I have any notes.
The Birds is a romantic comedy turned avian nightmare. When the rich socialite and practical joker Melanie runs into a charming lawyer named Mitch in a bird shop, she does the creepiest thing ever and tracks him down by name and address. After driving hours to get to his weekend home in a small town called Bodega Bay, Mitch and Melanie slowly but surely fall in love. However, the birds in the area seem to be going crazy and possibly waging a Planet of the Apes-style war. Except for in this movie, the apes are birds. Eyes are plucked out, hair is messed up, they kiss. What more could you ask for? Any other notes, Bryce?
No, that was all great.
Okay.
That was all good.
Okay, good. Well then, my review is The Birds, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, is a movie that can't really surprise you in any way. It basically is exactly what you would expect it to be, a movie about birds that attack people. Melanie, played by Tippi Hedren, is kind of annoying at times, but her creepy love for Mitch, played by Rod Taylor, is enjoyable enough to keep me engaged in the film. For me, it almost seemed random how the movie would be focusing on the relationship that's building between these characters, and then some birds just swoop out from the air and attack. There isn't a lot of buildup or explanation about why the birds are attacking. In fact, there is a moment where the characters meet a bird expert, which would have been a good time to maybe give some information about why this is happening. But the bird expert is somehow completely wrong about everything about birds, making me wonder why they even included that scene at all. In the end, it's a fine movie that kept me engaged enough throughout most of it, but it's really nothing special to me. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I think I was definitely surprised at how much of the movie was just a romance, like a silly romance. That was very interesting to me. I have seen a lot of Hitchcock movies, and I love Rope. I love Rear Window. Rear Window is one of my favorite movies of all time. But like, I think with older movies, there's also like big lead ups to things because they can't really rely so much on special effects because they were really hard to do. And yeah, I mean, I really thought that it was a gorgeous movie. I thought the acting was amazing. I thought the school teacher was really hot, and there were some scary moments with the birds. I will say that. Like, it wasn't like I was so scared, but I was like, damn, this would suck if I was in this position. So, but I really liked it. I think it's truly a classic, and I think it's something that's definitely a must see, and I can't believe I haven't seen it till now. And I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of like adjustment to the scoring scale you need to make when you're watching an older movie, just because it's not, it's not fair to compare it to other movies with like more technology. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like really interesting setups and scenes in this movie. I think overall the movie's just okay. Like, it's not super compelling. It's like kind of a template for kind of like mass event movies where no one knows why anything's going on. It just is.
Like Cloverfield.
And yeah, like Cloverfield
Or like rats. Or
rats.
even bats, maybe.
Yeah. Bats, or, even like just like zombie movies where it's like, hey, there are all these zombies. Does anyone know why? Nah, just don't worry. There's just zombies though. So you just have to deal with it. Like The Happening would be another one where it's like,
I still never saw that.
don't bother. But also just like natural things acting differently. It's such a great device to be like, why are all the rabbits turning on us? No one knows.
Even the experts don't know.
Yeah. I think like the most important aspect of the movie is like it's a masterclass on suspense, and that's kind of what Alfred Hitchcock is known for. The lead up is slow, but the scenes, like the capstone scenes of the movie, like the chase attack at the school with the kids, is just so perfectly done. You're like, of course we're still talking about this movie, because the pacing on that scene and the lead up to it is so great. And like even like little moments like when she's dropping off the lovebirds to Mitch's house and trying to like make her get away, and like the looking back to like the barn door to make sure she's not seen, is like just little moments like that. He's just like, this guy knows how to affect your cortisone response. It's like, oh no, is she gonna get away? Like, run, go. So it's really good at that. All that being said, is it a must-see? Not really for me, but it's good. I'd give it like a 7, It's not like obviously it's a very important movie in terms of like, people talk about it still, and it's from, when was it made? Was it the 60s?
63.
63. So, it has staying power, and that's kind of an archetype for these types of movies. But yeah, I wouldn't say like run out and see it unless you're kind of a fan of older movies, 60s movies with slower pacing. Yeah, or Birds,
All right. Well, that's a pretty decent spread, a 6, a 7, and an 8. Looks like we're in somewhat of an agreement here. Mm-hmm. What I'm not in an agreement of is the fact that we have to put so many ads on this episode. But you know what? We have to. Bryce is forcing us. He loves money. I, on the other hand, do not love money. But if you're listening to these commercials, you should know that you don't have to. If you head on over to patreon.com/horrormovietalk, you will be able to sign up for a tier that gets you ad-free episodes, exclusive access to bonus content, as well as early episodes. So there's a lot to enjoy over there. So head on over there and enjoy it all. Also go to horrormovietalk.com and check out our shop, where we recently have updated it. I say we, Bryce has recently updated it to have lots of cool stuff. We got shirts, we got hats, we got stickers, we got things you can sew onto your kid's scout uniform. It's awesome. So check out all those things. Also, I have some vintage Horror Movie Talk stickers from... Oh, hold on. Looks like Sydney was in pain there for a second.
I'm good.
You doing okay? Was she attacking your tit?
She goes to my necklace.
Oh.
No, I'm fine.
The claws
That's why I
were
didn't
like
make a
digging into you. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, I have some vintage horror movie talk stickers from the golden age, the very first stickers ever created for this show with the old logo. So if you want to offer me money for them, message me privately and we'll see if we can work something out.
Jesus.
All right. Check out our resident artist, Dustin Goebel, a professional artist who fucks hard. He also takes commissions for artwork from HMT fans. Contact him on Instagram at DGOEBEL00 and make your artistic dreams come true. Tell him HMT sent you. Again, that number to call in to leave a voicemail is 682-253-4468. Thanks again for listening. Let's get into the spoilers. Okay, so before we talk about the movie, I want to share a quick story. I promise it's incredibly related.
Okay.
My brother, when he was a small child, had hair just like Sydney's. It was long, it was flowing, and it was blonde. It was like so blonde.
Thank you so much. That's really nice.
I promise it relates to the movie. Give me a second. So he, as all good little Mormon boys do, took piano lessons. And my parents were both working at the time. So he, at a young age, like, 8, 9, had to walk himself a couple blocks over to his piano teacher's house. And he started coming home in tears, sobbing that there was this bird that would always swoop down and attack him. And my parents would get so mad at him because they were like, there's absolutely no way a bird is attacking you every time you walk to piano. And he would just be like traumatized in tears. And one day he just said, I'm not going to piano because this bird keeps attacking me. And so they called a neighbor who we know and trust and was like, will you please just walk this stupid boy to his piano lessons because he's terrified of a bird. Well, turns out the bird was really attacking him because as the neighbor was walking him to piano, the bird swooped down again and was like trying to beat him up and steal his hair for a nest. I don't know I think it was because of the blonde hair. Yeah, that bird really was attacking him. And then like a week later, we found the bird dead. And so we think it just had like a tumor in its brain or something. I don't know, but it was
maybe your brother killed
this
the
is
bird.
no, this is not surprising. I'm surprised that your parents didn't believe him. Like, no, there's birds that will just attack you if you're in their territory. They'll just attack everyone that walks through. It's probably not even just your brother. And it's not like abnormal. There's just certain birds that do that. There's a whole Bluey episode about this, by the way. Where it was, I think it was a minor bird, and it doesn't attack you if you're looking at it. So they made masks and put them on the back of their heads while they were walking by. Yeah, birds are one of those things where it's like you look at it and you're like, how could that possibly harm me? Like, who cares? I could crush a bird. But when you experience the chaos of a bird attacking you, you realize, like, I don't want that to ever happen again.
I've gotten bitten by 2 ducks in my lifetime. Bitten.
Really?
They don't even like really have teeth. Like so there's this place in Middleton, Mass called Richardson's. That's the place. It's ice cream and it's mini golf, and there is a farm where the cows produce the ice cream, right? And on the farm there are ducks. And when I was little, we were there, and I went to feed the ducks, and I stuck my hand out, and it bit my thumb. And I was like 6 years old, and I was like, God damn, I hate ducks. And then, a lot of years passed. And I was like 18, and I was up in Maine with my ex-boyfriend. And there's like a petting zoo in York, Maine, and we were there, and there were ducks, and I was like, maybe the ducks like me again, and so I went to feed the ducks, and it fucking bit my thumb again. Like, ducks just have this like vendetta against me. I was like
I don't
horrified.
think it's the ducks. I think you just don't know how to feed ducks. Have you ever, Bryce? Have you ever seen someone feed a duck like
I was
hand
like
to
this.
mouth? You drop it on the ground and let them eat it.
Well, okay, fine. I guess I just didn't know the
I could
decorum.
see. If it was an open hand and you're letting it eat out of like your palm,
That's what I was doing.
I
That
guess
makes
I've never
sense.
seen people. I've seen people like throw bread and the ducks just find it and eat it.
No, but like we're like buying like the food that they have at the zoo or like the farm or whatever for the ducks, and like I'm
Duck feed.
so yeah, that's birds don't really like me. And my stepmom bought my dad a bird once. It kind of looked like the lovebirds that in this movie. My stepmom bought my dad a bird, and it was so mean. It bit everyone. Like if you let it out of its cage, it would land on you and just bite you, and you'd be like, okay, cool, that's great. But yeah, I don't really have a good history with birds. I don't really fuck with birds. But I know that you're not supposed to kill a seabird because that's bad luck if you're a sailor. I know that. I learned
That's
that from
true.
the lighthouse.
Well, I mean, I could.
I
go
should probably
on about,
actually memorize what these sound drops do because I'm
You're
forgetting
just hitting random
what
ones.
they are, and they're not. They just sound really random.
I could go on and on about birds, but let's talk about this movie.
The birds.
So, birds. Melanie is picking up. She's trying to buy a bird for her aunt, who she dislikes, and she wants to get it like a talking bird who she can teach naughty words to. She's very juvenile. She likes to play pranks on people. She's a TikTok prankster.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like I don't know if this translates better in like the early 60s, but she is characterized in the dialogue as this prankster and, like spoiled rich kid. But she's acted as like Tippi Hedren is acting like, I don't know. It's just so pristine. It's like
She's
it's like
33. Tippi Hedren is 33 when this movie is happening.
It just reminds me of like Audrey Hepburn, just like very statuesque and just very proper, And I don't know if that translated better as in the early 60s as like a type, or if I'm missing something, but it feels like she's such a proper lady that it doesn't translate like that she's actually super mischievous or like a force of chaos.
Yeah, when they were talking about her being a prankster, I was like, okay, like this guy saw her in court because she had like inadvertently smashed a shop window, and that's like illegal, obviously,
It was
vandalism.
during one of her
Yeah.
pranks.
Yeah, but then it's like her other prank is buying birds and driving 2 fucking hours to deliver these birds. Like that's not a prank. That's like a lot of fucking work, man. Like that's you
Well, I
bought
mean,
someone a
that-
present. Like
That part is more like, oh, she thinks he's hot and wants to like get his attention.
yeah,
Kind of thing.
it's just weird.
Although I think if you switched the genders around, this story would be a lot more creepy. Like she.
It is weird. It is
she
weird.
reads his license plate as he's going. He didn't even give her his name. She writes his license plate down and then calls someone and he's like, hey, here's the license plate. Find out who this is and their address. And then they do that for her and she goes there. Turns out he is on vacation. He goes to visit his mom and his sister on the weekends and they live like 2 hours away. And so she decides, cool, I'll drive 2 hours to go see this man I don't know who doesn't know that I'm coming and doesn't know I even know where he lives. And I'm going to rent a boat, sneak across the lake, walk into his house, and leave birds.
He like
That's
absolutely
so
loved
creepy.
every second of it though. Like he like
Yeah.
loved it. Like he
Right.
was so hype about it. But when she before she goes there, she was asking what the little girl's name was and went to like the school teacher, and the school teacher is very rightfully like, who the fuck are you? Like, why are you doing this? Like, this is so strange. But then come to find out the school teacher like is in love with Mitch. So like that makes sense. But like it's a very weird thing, and she's kind of welcomed with open arms for the whole thing. I honestly, if I did something like this to someone, I think that they would be like, "You're psychotic. You're like, this is pretty crazy what you're doing." And I'd be like, "No." But yeah, it is. It's weird. It's weird. And then she just like lives there. Like she's just like, okay,
Imagine
I'll stay.
some random girl shows up on your doorstep and is like, "Hey, I met your neighbor yesterday and I'm kind of in love with him now. Can I stay at your house so that I can like be close to him?" And she's just like, "Sure. Why not?" Yeah, so she does that, and he like thinks it's the cutest thing ever when he sees the birds, and he gets out his little binoculars and sees her rowing across the lake. And so he gets in his car and drives over to meet her. And this is kind of when we get the very first bird attack. And this is
30 minutes into the movie.
Right.
35.
Yeah, very, very similar to the bird attack my brother experienced, where this bird just swoops down and bops her on the head, and she is like bleeding.
It looked pretty bad.
Yeah. It didn't.
She was like, "I'm fine."
Well, it looked like she had a concussion or something, because she's like, "Oh, I can't. I'm fine. No, please." Yeah. So what an awkward way to meet a guy you just drove 2 hours to see as well. Like, you're trying to be all cute and like mysterious, and then a bird just pecks at your face.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But she gets cleaned up, and the doctor was like closed, and so they went to the restaurant, and she's just bleeding from her head walking into the restaurant. Everyone looks at her, which is a cool shot. I really like the shots of all the people in this, like when like after the birds attack and they go back in the restaurant, and like they're looking at all the people, and you just see the people's like scared faces. Like, there are a lot of really nice shots in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of like really interesting kind of tableaus, and that was one of them. Was just a single stream of blood down her face as she's walking in.
This was my favorite scene. Just the way that it was pictured. Like, oh wow, that looks good, huh?
I can not see what you're showing.
Yes, awesome.
Like, I like the way it was framed, where she's in the front and she's in the back. I just thought that was nice. Oh, great. Now I'm not going to focus. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get a green screen. Don't worry.
So yeah,
I'll send you mine.
She gets her wound cleaned, and then Mitch invites her for dinner. This is also when we meet Mitch's mom, who is characterized as this woman who chases away any girl that Mitch brings home, not because she's jealous, but because she loves
Not
him.
anything of Oedipus or whatever the school teacher says.
Oedipal, yeah.
Oedipal.
Exactly.
But she's afraid of being abandoned. That's what. Yeah.
Yes, because her husband died just a few years ago. So she's a widow.
Is it crazy that, did you know who played his mother?
No.
I looked her up.
Jessica Tandy. So Jessica Tandy in my mind is like just plays old ladies. She was Daisy in Driving Miss Daisy, and also in Fried Green Tomatoes. Like, she's been an old woman for her whole career, and even in this one she's the mother, which is just kind of hilarious.
She
to me.
was
And
like 53. I looked up.
I kind of thought she had it going on.
She was hot. She was hot.
Yeah,
She was a pretty lady.
I mean, Hitchcock, he picked them. He picked some good women in his movies.
Yeah, because he was a fucking bad guy. Like, he was just he was a creepy bad guy. He treated Tippi Hedren. What happened in the bedroom scene is that these birds were tied to her jacket with strings, so they couldn't get away. So they were actually attacking her. It took a week to film that scene, and she had to go to the hospital.
Wait, those were real birds?
They were real birds attacking her.
The bedroom scene. Which
The
one was
ending.
Oh, when
gets
she goes
attacked.
into the room and she sees that the ceiling, there was a hole in it, and she sees all the
Oh,
birds.
I thought that was in the attic for some reason.
I mean, it's
yeah.
upstairs, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They literally tied the birds, and they trained 3,200 birds for this movie. And Alfred Hitchcock said the ravens were the smartest and the seagulls were the most vicious.
Wow.
3,200.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting trivia about Tippi Hedren.
I feel so
even
bad for her.
The world of horror. Yeah, you know, it's you know, it is horrible, but you got to say, torturing your female leads in a horror movie, it just works. You know, you got
Women
Shelley
act better when
Duvall
they're
and
upset.
The Shining. You've got Ellen Burstyn in the Exorcist. You got Tippi Hedren and The Birds. Like, you know, sometimes when you want an omelet, you got to break a couple eggs. And
That's true.
By eggs, I mean the psyche of your lead actress.
Before filming the final attack scene, when Melanie goes upstairs, Tippi Hedren asked Hitchcock, "Hitch, why would I do this? Like, why would my character do this?" And he said, "Because I told you to."
Told you to, bitch.
That's probably more like what it was. But
Because
yeah,
I
there's
really
just
want to tie birds to you.
yeah, they shut production down for a week after the week of filming that scene where she's attacked and she went into the hospital. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit that happened.
That
also,
scene is long too. She's being attacked for a long time. They
Fucking
probably just had
minutes.
extra B-roll of her being attacked because they shot it for so long and just shoved it all in there.
and I already knew that she was actually being attacked in that scene because I know that was like the only thing I knew about this movie is that she was actually attacked because I listened to a podcast about why Alfred Hitchcock was a bad guy. And she like, oh, what was I? Now I forget what I was going to say. Okay.
Moving on. So yeah, she's invited over for dinner. She's like, maybe I'll come, maybe I won't. We'll see how busy I get. She goes. And the first thing you learn upon getting to the family farm is that the chickens are acting weird and they're not eating their food. And so the mom is very upset about this. She calls...
Look at all those chickens.
Look at them.
Look at all those chickens not eating.
So she calls the guy who sold her the feed and she's like, hey, this feed is bad. And he's like, no, I actually got other calls from other people. I think the chickens are just weird right now. Like they might be sick because no one's chickens are eating. So this upsets her, but they have dinner and it seems like everybody likes her but the mom. And she's bringing up past stories that she read in the newspaper about her tripping into a fountain naked and splashing around, which she denies, says didn't happen, but...
No, she said that she was pushed in there and she wasn't naked.
Right. So her side of the story is that the newspaper sensationalized the story and changed it to be like a hit piece on her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then after that, she goes back to stay because it's too late now. So she stays with the school teacher, and the school teacher is like telling her about the mom and is like she's just afraid of being abandoned, like because of her like husband dying. And then she's like, also full clarity. A few years ago, me and Mitch used to fuck all the time, and he loves me so much, actually. So be careful. And Tippi Hedren's like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. Like, thanks for that information, babe.
But not before she gets a phone call from Mitch where he convinces her to stay for an additional day to go to his sister's birthday party, which they have a pretty crazy age difference. What is he, 30 and she's 9?
I was gonna say, like, are they trying to play it off like, no, she's turning 11, but are they trying to play it off like that man is in his 20s because that man is not in his 20s? Like, I can tell you right now, that man is older.
You know, it's hard to say because like early 60s, 20s is 50s to us. Like, if you look at high school yearbooks from the 60s, they all look like middle-aged men. It's crazy.
Oh my God, he was the same age as Tippi Hedren in this movie. He was 33.
Yeah. I mean, it's still pretty old.
I know, but he does not.
Keep talking.
He
I
did
gotta grab
not look
something.
33. like he looked older than that. Like I would say he was like 40, just because like his skin was so like leathery. Max, what are you doing?
Well, it's because everyone smoked like 3 packs a day
That's
back
true.
then.
I don't know. It's weird. It was just.
Let me see if I can find some 60s yearbook photos.
But I think Tippi Hedren was also supposed to be younger than she was because she was such like a free spirit or whatever.
It's my yearbook photo.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Is it focusing?
Do you just have like pictures of you in your youth free at hand?
I actually
This is
have
me.
pictures of
This is me
me.
when I started middle school. I was 12, I think.
This is my freshman year of college.
This is me the next year. They're like not focusing.
Why
but
do you have all of those?
This is me the next year. And this is me the year after that. So yeah.
Wow, you have all
That's me
those?
throughout the ages.
I don't know where mine are. I don't even think I.
Sorry,
this
you
was
brought up
my. This
yearbooks
was
and
my.
I knew I had it.
This is my senior photo.
Whoa! That looks nothing like you.
Here's
All right, Bryce, your turn.
here's like an example of
What the fuck?
a 60s yearbook.
What
Yo,
the
Margaret needs some help.
These
she looks
these are
35.
children.
fuck? These are 17-year-olds.
Yeah, these are like 18-year-olds. And honestly,
I think it's the hairdos.
these guys still look pretty young. It's not as bad, but you can find examples. I mean, look at these girls. Like
It's the fucking hair. It's like that hairstyle.
Ruth
that
Mondlock looks straight 45. You know, that's crazy.
like my
yeah, Myron Nauman. Look at that guy. That guy's a professor. I don't
So
know.
my Nana was 20 in 1963. She got married in 1964, and like they basically have these same hairdos. Like she has a very similar hairdo that she did at that point. It was like cool to be like short and really curly and a lot of volume, and that's what we associate now with like kind of like old lady hairdos because
Right.
that was what was in style for them. So I think it's really funny. Like I don't know. I have pictures of my Nana's wedding if you guys want to see.
Bryce, pull
This
up
is
a picture of you
my
in high
Nana-
school, please.
My Nana and Papa on their wedding day.
let me see.
Is it focusing? It's not focusing.
From
There
high
you go.
school.
They were 21 and 20 in 1964.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing, guys. Like back then, pictures just weren't digitized.
Oh, so you don't have...
You know?
I see.
Yeah, it's all analog, so I can
All
pull
right.
photos from.
Bryce will squeeze out of it.
Whatever.
I'll find
Whatever.
something when I was younger. I'm looking on Facebook.
All right.
See if there's any.
You let us know if you find that. So the next day is the birthday party. And yeah, so they're kind of just hanging out, having a good time when all of the sudden the birds attack. And this time is not just one bird. There are like hundreds of them. And
There's
they're
so many seagulls.
swooping down at the children and pecking at their backs as they lay motionless on the ground. So it's kind of funny,
crazy.
but yeah, if I saw that in real life, that would be horrifying. Yeah, so they have to like get all the kids inside, and finally the birds calm down and everyone goes home. But that is not where the birds stop, because this is where like for the next like 3 scenes we just get bird attack scenes.
Oh, and
I gotta talk about this scene because I think we're underselling it. This is like such a masterclass in setting up the suspense and setting up a scene like this, because throughout the whole movie, like up to this point, like the most that we've seen is a seagull like hitting her in the head, which was like a comical
and a
thing.
dead
It just
seagull
goes whack.
at the door.
Yes.
Right. And then it has her just like sitting outside the school, and it has the monkey bars in the background, or like the play set, and there's like 3 crows on it, and then it goes to her.
That's after this.
That's
though.
like way later though.
Oh,
We're at the
what
birthday
scene are we
party.
talking about?
Birthday party.
Birthday party.
With the kids outside on the
birthday
cliff, and then they're talking and they have martinis, and then the birds start dive bombing everyone, and then they get everyone inside, and only like a couple kids got hurt, but not seriously.
I must have fell asleep at this scene then, because I don't remember the scene at all.
Okay.
My bad.
Bryce.
Because the next thing is like she stays over, right? Like he's like, you need to stay for dinner. Like this is crazy. So she stays over again. And then that's when the mom in the morning goes to like one of the neighbors' farms. And that's when shit starts popping off. Like she gets in there, the birds have destroyed the house, and the guy, this is like, you know, the scariest gore of the movie. The guy's in the corner of the room with his eyes plucked out. And then incredible performance by her.
Yeah.
Like,
she flips her shit.
She can't even breathe.
We also missed
I love the reaction of just being overwhelmed by, you know, actresses back then, where you just like just not even screaming, just like, my body doesn't know how to process this.
Well,
and
it wouldn't be ladylike to scream. Yeah, but we skipped over the night before. The birds attack again through the chimney, and this is like hundreds and hundreds of them, sparrows,
after dinner,
flying through the chimney and just overwhelming the house. They call the police, and I love this because the guy's like, "We have to do something about the birds," and he's like, "What do you want me to do? I can't arrest the birds. Like, they're birds."
Yeah, the cops like, maybe it was just cold outside and they wanted to come in. Like, and then they're like, no, you don't understand. And Tippi Hedren's really focusing on the mom in this scene and how frustrated she is with not being heard. And I liked that. Also, it's set up that Tippi Hedren does not have a good relationship with her mother. And so that's also happening at the same time. But yeah, but then the mom finds the birds have killed the neighbor after that the next
her
day.
relationship with Mitch's mom is really interesting to me because, she sets up that her mom abandoned her when she was young. And so she doesn't know what it's like to have a mother who loves you. And throughout the movie, Mitch's mom keeps saying things like, I really want to like you. I just don't know if I do. And she's like, you don't have to like me. Like, I don't care. But as it progresses, like their relationship gets closer and closer. And by the end, it's almost like she finally learns what it's like to have a mother who loves her. And so it's really subtle. It's not like, I feel like it's more in like their body language to each other by the end, how they're like kind of holding each other and taking care of each other.
It's very sweet. But,
Is this a picture of you, Bryce?
Right there.
Amazing.
That's Bryce.
Wow.
Beautiful.
I know.
You haven't aged a day.
I know. Don't I look exactly the same?
I mean, you don't look that different.
That's a gem. Wait, hold on. Can I like screenshot that for a second? I'll screenshot it later.
No, you can't.
I literally have the video. I'm going to screenshot that later.
Yeah, we are recording this.
Okay, what part are we at? So, she returns from.
Oh, actually, that's in college. That's not even high school.
Yeah, we can go younger. We can do better. Yeah, so she comes back from finding her friend, the other farmer, with his eyes pecked out, and he's dead. And so she's getting really worried about her daughter, Kathy, who is in school. And she keeps saying, like, I'm really worried about her. I think maybe someone should check on her. And so Melanie decides to go over there and check on her. And this is when we get to the part that Bryce was talking about, where she's waiting outside the school for them to finish singing this song. That how do they know the words to this song? It's so long and it's so fast and it's so confusing. But
and it's forever.
To be
You know
fair,
what's
I was
crazy?
watching it on 1.5 speed.
What's crazy? You were watching on one.
No, you're not. What?
Oh my gosh, Max!
I wanted to go to.
You're not allowed to do that.
Just
I'm not
watch
allowed
the
to do that.
movie. Just
You're not
watch
allowed
the
to do
fucking
that.
movie.
Okay,
That's
guys.
cheating.
I didn't know
That
there was
is-
rules. I didn't know there was rules.
There are rules.
I can't pull my dandelions while I watch the movie. I can't
No.
do it on
Bro.
1.5 speed.
You're a movie critic. You have to actually experience the movie.
We're professionals. You have to.
the
And if the
comments.
movie makes you fall asleep, that's part of it.
Oh, the comments are going to be so bad about that. I shouldn't
Oh my
have said
God.
Oh my gosh, that's such a Zoomer like thing.
that. I'm telling you guys, I really struggle to watch full movies. It's so long.
This is
Well.
okay. This is the song. Ristlety, Rostlety, hey Donny Dossety, Nickety Nackety, Rusty Quo Quality, now. I married my wife in the month of June. Ristlety, Rostlety, now. I brought her home by the light of the moon. Ristlety, Rostlety, hey Donny Dossety, Nickety Nackety, Rusty Quo Quality, Willity Waddity, now. It's so fucking long. Like the lyrics that I'm seeing right now, like this is the entire page of scrolling.
There's like 7 more stanzas. It's crazy.
Yeah, and like it really builds suspense in this moment because Tippi Hedren's sitting outside smoking a cigarette, and more birds start landing behind her on the swing set, and it's like as the song progresses, like when it's about to end, she like looks back and she sees there's like hundreds of birds, and then that's when she like slowly creeps into the school and she's like, "We need to get the fuck out of here. We gotta get the kids out of here now," and. Yeah, and then chaos fucking ensues. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I almost feel like staying in the school maybe would have been a little bit better.
There are big windows. That was their fear, was that there are really big windows that the birds could smash
but
through.
Is it better to like have some sort of roof over your head versus just like telling the kids to run into an open field and watch the birds just massacre them?
Yeah, I was wondering, is there no basements because this is California? Like, they don't have like storm doors.
They don't have
I had a
storms.
I had a storm door in my house growing up, and you entered from the outside, and I mean it was just our basement. You could get in through the house, but like we had a storm door just in case the tornadoes came. I don't know, like they don't have basements because that would have been the ideal place to go, is a fucking basement. No one went to a basement the whole time. Everyone's like, let's go upstairs. Like, I'm like, stop going upstairs. But the kids get fucking attacked.
Know that the air is the domain of birds?
The kids get absolutely attacked. Like, they're getting hurt. And Tippi Hedren gets a couple of them in a car, but there's no keys because it's not her car. So they just kind of wait it out until they can go home, right? So
Yeah,
she goes back to Mitch's.
No, they go to the. Don't they go to the
The
bar
restaurant.
again?
The restaurant.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
restaurant.
yeah. And that's when we get a lot of like setting up where like there's this drunk guy that thinks that the world is ending and he's really sticking to it. He's quoting the Bible. It's really funny. Like it's played off as really funny. Like the way that he's like, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world.
I really like that he's like trying to quote the Bible, and then the other guy quotes another Bible verse at him that's like, "Don't drink early in the morning," and he's sitting there in the AM just like downing whiskey, like. Yeah, it's
good.
pretty good.
But
And then-
yeah, there's a lot of fear mongering happening, and they're like, "Stop talking so loud. The kids are gonna hear you." And Tippi Hedren's like, "You don't understand. Like, you don't understand what just happened. Like, these birds are attacking," and everyone's like, and then that woman is like, "Birds don't do that. Birds do not do that."
I've been a bird expert my whole life. Okay,
I'm
let
an
me
old
tell you something
lady.
about birds. They're cute little creatures. They're sweetie little pies, and they fly in the air specifically to make us happy. Okay, that's the
Yep.
bird's job.
That's
to be
what
a
birds
cutie
do.
little tweety little.
I'm a
guy.
birdologist, and I know these things.
Yeah, that's about the extent of the knowledge the birdologist supplies, is that birds are not dangerous but cute.
Yes.
I'm so distracted this episode because I'm trying to find pictures of,
Bryce, you don't
of me.
need to. It's okay. We can look on the afterboard.
I found one. Just a minute. Let me update this. You guys are gonna love it. This is
Yeah, please stand by. I'll take this brief moment to. Oh,
Whoa.
Wait, hold on.
Jesus.
I'll take this brief moment to say that I'm really sorry that I watched it on 1.5 speed to all the listeners, because I know that made a lot of people angry. I can already hear what you're saying. I am a bad movie critic. I'm sorry.
It's just funny that you did that. I only knew one person in college that did that with TV shows because he couldn't pay attention. Like that was like the vibe was he was like, I can't pay attention. So if it goes faster, I'll pay attention more. So I don't know if
Bryce,
that's
you
your
were really
philosophy.
struggling to get this to show your face.
You know what? The struggle is real. It's going to be worth it. Look at
Okay.
this.
I'm trying to think of things to say while
Look
you're
at
pulling
this
this up. Is that
cherub.
you?
Oh,
Look at this
No way.
cherub.
oh my god!
Look at that sweet little baby. What kind of a hat is that? Is that like a sailor hat or?
It's a sailor hat.
That's so cute. Aww,
Bryce.
cute little Bryce.
There's my brother
Again,
and
you
sister.
haven't aged a day. You look exactly the
I know.
same.
I look exactly the same.
Put an HMT
so
shirt
cute.
and some hair on that guy, and that's you. I love that you're
There we
doing
go.
that. You got your little tongue sticking out.
So you're the youngest. That's cute.
Yep, I'm the youngest.
Max, what is your succession of siblings? Are
I'm
you the oldest?
oldest. I have a
Me
younger brother who's
too.
21, I think, or 22, and a younger sister who is 14. And shout out my younger sister, just won her softball championship.
Woo! Congrats. Congrats, Miss Allen.
Okay, now that I'm not distracted, do we already cover about the school attack?
Yes.
Did we
Okay,
cover
give
that?
your thoughts on the school attack. We're like
Okay.
2 scenes after that.
It's so perfect, like the slow roll up to it, like the birds appearing behind her. And then when they release the kids, it's just absolute chaos. It's so great. That it's just so full on that it's not like, I feel it's like the capstone of the movie, and you could just show that scene and just like move on. That's all you really need to know about this movie, is that just the fact that it's attacking young children like mercilessly and trying to kill them.
Yep.
It's great. It's
Yeah.
fun stuff.
But yeah, now we're at the restaurant, and she did.
All right, sorry.
No, it's okay. She did call Mitch, and Mitch gets there, and he obviously believes it because they had that attack on the house with the sparrows, and no one else is believing them. And then a bird dive bombs a guy. I really like this scene. Dive bombs a guy at the gas station. He like fucking dies, like literally, like he dies, like, and everyone starts crowding around him, but like he was pumping gas, so the gas starts spilling, and everyone's inside the restaurant watching this, and there's a guy lighting a cigar, and the gas is there, and they open the window, and they're like, "Don't drop the match! Don't drop the match!" And he's like, "What?" And he drops the match. Fucking
It's so
explodes.
cartoonish. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a goofy part of the movie because
It's awesome.
Everyone is acting so serious, and the guy's just like, "What? Oh, what? You don't want me to light this?" And they're like, "No, don't do it." And he's like, "I'm gonna do it." And then he does it, and it explodes.
It's crazy. But yeah, so
And then the
That
whole town
have-
kind of gets attacked here because they're going
Yes,
through the
and-
windows, so everyone starts running outside, and then everyone is just getting obliterated by these birds. And Melanie hides in the phone booth, which is just like getting bombarded from all sides. And she keeps trying to get out of the phone booth for some reason, and
I don't know
gets, like,
why she would
pecked on
do
her hands
that.
every time. Like, stay in the phone booth, please.
that pissed me off so bad. I was like, bitch, you're safe. Like, just stay in there for a sec and then it'll be over. And then once it's over is when Mitch and her go back into, Mitch grabs her. They go back into the restaurant. They see all the scared people that finally believe them, which is good.
But now they think that it's her fault somehow. Like the birds specifically hate her, which I actually don't think is a bad theory, because of all the theories they give in this movie, the one that makes sense to me is they specifically hate her for buying slave lovebirds and forcing them to be pets.
Interesting.
Yeah. It makes sense, but it also, like, I feel like they would have killed her. I feel like she would have been dead at the end. You know
they
what
attack
I mean?
her multiple times.
They do. But yeah, I mean, there's a bit of trivia about the meaning. While it's never revealed why the birds start attacking people, the film's trailer provides a clue. It features a typically deadpan Hitchcock providing insight into a forthcoming lecture of his about birds and their relationship with humanity. He then goes on to provide numerous examples of humanity's ill treatment of birds, including everything from violent cave drawings to the abuse of chickens on farms to duck hunting. The implication is that birds are attacking due to humanity's indifference, cruelty towards nature. So this is like Planet of the Apes. Exactly.
Yeah. What's crazy about this is that, it's in the 60s and like one of the guys that's talking about like, well, that couldn't happen if the birds turned against us. There's like this many species and like all these like billions of birds. Like there's no way we could defeat them. Like, it turns out in 2020s, we're doing a pretty good job of killing birds. It's like
and
many species.
In the 50s through the 70s, we killed all the birds in America. There's none left.
Right.
Yeah. I would have loved it if one of the plot points was like, hey, wait a minute. Let's just bring in more cats. And the cats would attack the birds. Do you know how successful cats are at killing birds?
Are they really good?
Yeah.
They like turn birds extinct. Like there's very few birds that are like ground nesting birds that aren't endangered, specifically just because cats destroy them.
Yeah, there was not a single cat in this whole movie, and I thought that was an oversight because someone had to have had a cat. Like that school teacher, she should have had one.
What about like a flamethrower? Like I'm thinking if I want to kill mass hordes of birds, I think a flamethrower would do the trick pretty good.
Dude, not even. Yeah, that was the other thing like that wasn't believable about it is like no one in an entire like rural coastal town has a shotgun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
all you need is one shotgun, and like you would take out an entire cone.
Yeah,
in an area around it of like from shot pellets.
Yeah,
like yeah. I mean, plus also if you get your hand on a bird, you just snap its neck like in an instant.
Yeah, no one's fucking
like all you gotta
killing
do is
birds.
like squeeze it. Yeah, if you like tried to kill the bird, you could kill it so easily. Like if you just squeeze its rib cage a little bit, you're gonna kill a bird.
I personally don't think I could do it. I think
my
humanity would kick in. I would have too much empathy. Even if it was attacking me, I don't know. I've been wanting to go vegan for so long, but it just seems like so much work. I don't like animals dying, and I could never do it on purpose. I have, however, killed multiple animals on accident. One was on my mission. A baby squirrel imprinted on me and thought I was its mother. Spent the whole day with me, like riding on my backpack, climbing up my leg, sitting on my shoulder. And then we could not get it to go away. It loved us so much. And we couldn't move our car because it kept standing right by the tires whenever we would try to get in our car. And so one time we finally thought we shooed it away, and it just sprinted right under the tire as soon as we started driving. So flattened like a pancake. Rest in peace, Chestnut.
Why didn't you keep it as a fucking pet? That's horrible.
I couldn't even listen to music during those 2 years. You think they're gonna let me have a pet squirrel?
Okay, well, okay. I killed a raccoon once. I did not mean to kill said raccoon, but I had just gotten my license and I was driving at night and I was by myself and I saw a raccoon. A raccoon sprinted in front of my car, and so I stopped and I was like, okay, it's gone. And then I started going again. There was a second raccoon behind it that I ran over, and then I saw it in my rear view and it was not dead. And I was too pussy, being a 16-and-a-half-year-old, to go back and finish the job because I was like, what do I do? It was like that scene in Talk to Me at the beginning where
Sydney,
she
how much suffering did you allow that poor animal to go through? You could have been there for days.
I didn't know what to do. I had no idea what to do. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't. Listen,
That's
you
worse
killed
than
your
watching a movie on 0.115 speed, I'll tell you
I
what.
didn't fucking mean to run the fucking raccoon over. What, was I going to back up and run it over again? I was already crying.
Something like that. I don't know.
I had, speaking of mission stories, I had a companion on my mission when we were out in rural Texas, and he was like a hunter. Like he was really big into like hunting when he was back home. And so he would just use the car as a device of hunting. Like if he would swerve towards squirrels if they were on the road. I don't think we ever got one. But I do remember there was a time when we were like down some like dirt road and there were some like big birds. They're like big vultures or something that were eating some, carrion on the road. And his immediate reaction to seeing them was to hit the gas. And I swear, like we probably like hit one of their feet as they were flying above the car. It was like, I probably could have reached out and grabbed it, but there's some real psychopaths out there.
Yeah.
I actually really like him. He was a fun guy.
I'm going to dedicate the last like 10 to 15 minutes of this show after we finish talking about it to like more bird stories. Cause I keep thinking of bird stories. And I haven't made a game, so we'll save all the rest of the bird stories.
I have more bird stories, so that's good.
Okay, we'll just load the ending with bird stories, and if you don't want to listen to them, you can just end the episode. But let's finish talking about this movie. Where are we even at?
After the bird attack, and they go and see if Kathy is still with Annie, and they get to Annie, and she's fucking dead. Yeah, she's fucking dead. Dead as fuck.
Yeah,
poor Annie.
So she's gone. And then they take everyone to the main house and they like bunker down.
They board up all the windows and then it turns into a zombie movie.
Yeah, really fast.
And the craziest part of the movie is like showing the birds going so insane that they're actually like getting through the door.
Yeah,
that was
like
the scariest part.
Door.
Like imagine if you were being attacked by birds and they start pecking through your door. Like that was really the point where I was like, nah, yeah, that's scary. Like that's very terrifying.
Yeah. So and they come in waves. So it's like they'll hit really hard for a few minutes and then they'll be gone for hours. Mm-hmm. So they have like moments of reprieve, which leads them to fall asleep. Bad idea. Why is no one on watch? They all fall asleep simultaneously, and Melanie wakes up and hears fluttering, like little wing fluttering, and she decides to by herself follow the noise until she finds herself in a room with a huge hole in the ceiling, and there's hundreds of birds in there. And this is the scene we talked about earlier, where she apparently was actually attacked by real live birds and had to be hospitalized for it, which is insane.
A week of the same scene. A week of that scene.
That would probably traumatize a person. Like, I would be afraid of birds after that.
She's talked about it extensively in interviews about how awful it was. I don't even think she acted much after this. Like, I really don't. She'd take like a break and shit. But yeah, really horrible stuff from Mr. Alfred Hitchcock.
He's just
how many birds died in this movie? Like there must be so many birds that died.
Well, birds just die all the time. It's like, how do you keep them alive? It would have been impressive if all the birds they trained survived.
Oh my God, there was 25,000 live birds.
Yeah,
That's
insane. Okay. And then the movie ends, they just drive off.
Well, yeah. So the last part I wanted to talk about was that, so she's really beaten up, but she's still alive. And Mitch goes
This is one of those like limitations of like 60s movies, is that it's implied that she's like a bloody pulp and like barely hanging on to life. Fine. But she's got pretty. A couple scratches. Yeah.
Also, a couple more trivia. We had 12 or 13 crew members in the hospital one day from bites and scratches. The seagulls would deliberately go for your eyes. I got bitten in the eye region at least 3 times, and Tippi got a pretty nasty gash from one of the birds hit right above the eye. The birds were also drugged, and they spread lice among the crew. They would feed them wheat and whiskey to make them docile. And many of the birds carried lice, and most of the cast and crew got it. Some of the birds escaped, and they made a home in a tree on the grounds of Hitchcock's residence and constantly shit on his car.
Wow.
That's what he does. He deserved
like
that.
A nightmare.
Yeah,
Was this movie worth it?
I think there are some good effects. Like I think it was. Yeah, the ending's very anticlimactic. They literally just are like, we need to go to a hospital. And there was an alternate ending that they were going to do where he was going to cover the Golden Gate Bridge with birds, which I thought would have been way better.
That would have been really cool.
But it's just them driving away in a sea of birds.
Well, and the kind of weird part about the ending is he turns on the radio in the car, and the person on the radio is like, all the exits in the town are blocked off. There's no way in or out. They're trying to decide if they needed to send the military in to kill the birds. And he's just like, well, I guess we'll still get in the car and drive away, even though we know there's no way out of the town. And then
he didn't tell anyone.
No, he didn't say that. He kept that to
said
himself.
It was fine. Yeah. So I guess they probably didn't make it, but none of only one person or two people die in the movie that you see. So, I mean, I also thought Kathy, the little girl's acting was really good. She was like a scream queen, in my opinion. But
maybe she was just scared of birds.
Maybe.
There's a lot of interesting trivia about Tippi Hedren that I just want to cover before we move on. First of all, she's like the beginning of a dynasty of Nepo babies.
Dakota Johnson.
Her daughter is Melanie Griffith, which is also, and she's also the grandmother of Melanie Griffith's daughter, Dakota.
Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson. Yeah. The archetypal Nepo baby.
I love her.
No, also she is the reason why there's so many Vietnamese nail salons in the US.
What?
Why?
So she had a 1975 trip to a Vietnamese refugee camp, and she met with a group of women, and they're fascinated by her manicure. And so she arranged her manicurist to help teach a group of 20 women the art of the perfect manicure. And they were licensed, and then they immigrated into America, and that's the seed that started all the Vietnamese, because they would bring on more people and teach them this skill
and be like, we can make money doing this in the US, so why not?
Yeah, so this is so she is the reason why there's so many Vietnamese nail salons in the US.
Fuck yeah. Good for her.
And then there's some interesting trivia with her and The Exorcist. So she was friends with William Peter Blatty, who wrote The Exorcist. She got an unpublished copy of The Exorcist, and she was so absorbed in reading it, she woke up her husband, who was an agent, got the novel published, and he was also an executive producer of the film adaptation. And then there was a falling out because he was supposed to receive 15% of the profits, and they had to have this big lawsuit because Blatty refused to give him the agreed upon profits. And then she never forgave William Peter Blatty.
Oh my God, she's
Anyways.
an activist for animal rights now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because she did the film Roar. I don't know if you guys know about Roar, which is...
She would not have liked Sydney's story of the raccoon. I'll tell you that much.
No. Anyways, lots of... but isn't that crazy that her specifically is why Vietnamese nail salons are a thing?
That's
All right.
so
Anyways.
random.
Any last things you want to say about the movie The Birds? Who would like it?
I think that if my Nana probably saw this in the movies in 1963, and I would say that she probably thought it was really scary. So I feel like there's definitely a nostalgia element to it. If you're kind of trying to make your rounds for classic horror, definitely watch it. I think Alfred Hitchcock has better movies. Like, I'll reiterate, Rope is my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie. It's very good. I also have Rear Window on DVD. These are very good movies. Rope is really good because it's kind of gay coded, and I like that.
Yeah, that's the one that I really want to see that I haven't seen yet. And apparently, like there's a bunch of Alfred Hitchcock movies that are going to come to Prime Video in a couple days, and I'm almost wondering if Birds is going to be free to stream in a couple days because of it.
Probably.
But Rope is coming on Amazon Prime, so I'm looking forward to watching it.
I highly recommend you watch it. It's about two guys who are very nihilistic, so they kill someone just to do it, and they put him in this trunk, and they put the trunk in their house, and they have a party with the dead guy in the trunk. It's really good.
You bringing up that The Birds might be free soon made me realize I never said where this movie can be found. The Birds can be purchased for rent on Amazon Prime, YouTube, Apple TV, and Fandango for around $4-ish. But yeah, that is The Birds. Any bird stories you guys want to share before we wrap up this episode? I was just thinking, I remember that in Florida there are these ducks that are considered pests because they are everywhere and they're absolutely disgusting looking, and they poop a million times a day. And I watched one go into the nest of another, steal an egg, and then crack it on the ground and then run away. They are evil birds. They are evil birds.
See, I knew why I don't like ducks. See?
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Those ducks specifically.
Crazy.
Let me see if I can find a picture of those.
That's like that's nuclear reactive ducks. They've been radiated.
Yeah, they look disgusting.
Did you know that you can teach crows to bring you money for food?
That's so cool, and I would literally do that. I think crows are cool. Crows are cool birds.
Like there's people that have like set up these little, not birdhouses, but these machines where it's like basically if they put in coins into a slot or like just shiny objects into a slot, they'll bring it if it feeds them. But also like, yeah, I mean, there's stories of people that just like crows will bring you gifts if you're nice to them. I want to train crows.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
I bet you'd be really good at
a
training
group of
crows.
attack crows.
I have a one time I have a bird story. One time my mom, my sister, and I were driving home, and I was in the passenger seat, and I was probably, I don't know, maybe high school. No, it was like middle school-ish. I don't know. I was a kid, and we were driving like very close to our house, and something flew by the windshield, and my mom slammed on the brakes, and she screamed, and she goes, "That was a UFO!" And me and my sister were like, "What the fuck do you mean?" She was like, "We just saw a UFO. It just went right in front of us." And then we like looked, and it was a bird that had a string like stuck to it. I was like, it was like the craziest thing ever that my mom thought it was a UFO. Like that was her immediate reaction, was that we saw an alien, and it was a bird with a string on it. It was really weird. It's really weird.
And that sums up every alien encounter ever. Is people see something that they don't understand and they think it's a UFO.
What's more believable? Like sentient beings from millions of light years away have found a way to come to America and just kind of hang out in secret and not have any discernible reason to be here or reason to not interact with us? Or are some people kind of dumb?
Okay.
Which is more believable?
To be fair, I believe in aliens. I feel like there's got to be other
There
intelligent
has to be.
species out there. But are they traveling to our planet and just chilling?
I
Probably
don't
not.
think that's what would happen. I think they would
No.
probably start a war with us.
Unless
Speaking
they
of
were
that,
really
have you guys
kind.
seen Three Body Problem? That's on Netflix. It's a new show.
I have not.
And it's like about these things. And I watched it. It's 8 episodes. I think they'll do a next season, but it's from the same creators of Game of Thrones. And I think it's not the best show ever, but it's pretty good. It's about aliens. But it's not like corny. It's just like good. I liked it.
Good. Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we are done reviewing The Birds. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us.
Wow.
Please make sure to like this video and subscribe and hit the bell and follow us on Spotify and Apple Music and join our Patreon, too. Give us money on top of all of that support. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Nope.
Good day, sir. Good day, sir. You lose. You get nothing.
Is that me? Yes, it is.
I just want to stroll through the scraggly woods.
He had no face.
Horror!
Wow, that didn't sound good.